Hello and welcome back everyone. I hope that everybody's having a beautiful week. Today we're going to talk about a wonderful tool that I've been using since I was a little child. Was the first craft that I learned, and I use it a lot in my knitting and in my books these days, and that tool is crochet. In this video I want to walk you through the basic stitches that you need to know to be able to embellish or to fix your knitting. I learned to crochet when I was 5 years old, when I used to sit next to my aunt or my mother. And they used to crochet these huge big blankets for weddings and they were going to give to their friends. The process was like really long, took like about 2 years, and they used really tiny needles. I think there were probably 0.9, something really small, like really small, like a thread. They look beautiful, but they look really complex to me in that moment. And the interesting part is that neither my mom, neither my aunts used any pattern for this. They didn't use any books. They just knew all of these stitches by memory, because when there were little tiny girls, they have to go to live in a convent with some nuns because their mother got really sick, and in the convent the nuns taught them how to do these stitches, but they made them memorize these things, and instead to give them a book. I guess they didn't have books or any like magazine by that time there, so they learned that way. And I learned just looking at them and hear them talking about their personal stuff, about their family affairs, and was like a very good time between women. So I start to do my little chain there just by seeing them. None of them really formally told me. I just learned by seeing what they were doing. Although knitting is my major craft and most of my designs are knitting, and some of my books like Making Memory and Memory Lane, published by Lane Magazine, I use a lot of crochet to do a couple of things and to actually embellish in that case. Crochet can be used in many different ways for us as knitters. Crochet can be really helpful to join pieces together, reinforce edges, and embellishment. So in this video today, I'm going to be showing you just how with 4 stitches from crochet, you can actually do all of these things. And actually in my next video, I'm going to be showing you 10 things that you can do with crochet in your knitting. Today, I'm going to teach you 4 stitches in the table that will be really helpful for your knitting. But if you know a crocheter and you just want to learn crochet, this can be very helpful for you to learn how to crochet too. I'm going to teach you 4 basic stitches. First, I'm going to teach you how to cast on and crochet with a chain stitch. Then I'm going to teach you how to make a single crochet, then a double crochet, and then a slip stitch. These 4 stitches will allow you to make a lot of beautiful decorations. It will allow you to make a lot of changes that sometimes are really necessary in your knitting. Now I'm going to be showing you really quickly some of the things that I've been able to achieve with crochet in my knitting, and then I'm going to go to the table and I'm going to show you that 4 fantastic stitches that they're going to up your game in knitting. And if you don't know how to crochet, these 4 basic stitches, they're going to allow you to crochet almost every pattern. Of course, there's more things there, more complicated, but these 4 stitches are the base, and so these 4 stitches combined create way more designs and stitches. I'm going to show you a few examples of how I use crochet in some of my knitting. I'm going to go from the very easy to the more complex, and one of the very easy ones is this one. In this little top, what I have done is make a little line with crochet, with a single crochet here, to create a line where I'm going to go back and crochet these little scallops. But the interesting part is that before I create the scallops, I just mark the spaces and I mark it with a pin, and then I crochet a straight line here, giving me a space where I can either knit or crochet. So it's a very good way to make the base on something that you're going to apply to your top or to your shirt or to your scarf or whatever you're making. In this case, I went with crocheting the 2 things. I crocheted the scallops and I did the single crochet here to have the little marks. I could have left it just like that, and that would have created already a nice decoration in my top. But I went on and I did these little scallops, and it make an absolutely adorable children top. And this one is called Mar, and you can find it in Ravelry if you're interested. So, and I went and I did the sleeve, and in the edge of the sleeve, I just went and did the same scallops and crochet. What is interesting here and what I want to share with you is that to do all of these beautiful decorations or embellishment in this little t-shirt took me no more than an hour. So it's really quick, and it is really like, if you don't have a plan, if you were making something really plain and you didn't have plan to make it like way more like girly or wear more like for a party, you can actually go on with your crochet hoop, and your imagination can change the feeling of that little top. So here I have another examples, and I have an example that is a little bit more recent and it's a bit more plain, but this one is just like a plain top. And again, it's just a plain top that it can be just like knitted, and you can wear it like an undergarment. But if you want to wear it out of your garment, if you just want to wear it like a summer top with like a pair of linen shirts or like a nice skirt, these little scallops make it really cute. And again, this little scallop probably took me like about an hour and a half to produce. What I think is really fast thing to do. And again, this pattern is in Ravelry. I want to show you something that is a little bit more intrinsic and a little bit more, maybe more interesting if you learn to crochet, because I can make actually the yoke of a sweater and crochet, and then just go back and pick up the rest of the parts of the garment. And I think this is absolutely cute and sweet, and you can decorate it in different ways. I just put like a little I put ribbon in the back just to put it together, but the base of the whole pattern was just like a little joke that I have created, because I thought that I was going to use it to put it in the top of my clothes. But then I said, oh, well, I don't use it to make a sweater. And actually ended really cute and really, really easy to make, because it's just plain knitting. And this, it took me probably like about 2 hours to crochet. And so it's like a good, handy thing to know how to do if you want to do something quickie and embellish it. In that case of the sweater that I just showed you, I have used the yoke to create this part of the yoke to create the base for a sweater. But in this case, that is a sweater that appeared in my book, Making Memories, published by Memory Lane, made by me. In this case, I just used the scallops and the yoke. It looks like a yoke part to decorate or to embellish the sweater that already was existing. So basically here is just the sweater, and then I just add this part by putting them together with my knitting and pick that up. So in future videos, because this video is just part of a series of videos that I want to be making, I'm going to show you how I did this, how I add a color to a sweater, to a plain sweater. And in another video, I'm going to be showing you how from the color you can create a sweater. So this is part of a future videos. It's not going to be in this video today. We're just learning the 4 basic stitches. Then we are able to do all of these things. So here's a few examples, and we're going to be showing you these examples in a beautiful photo here. This is called Melina, and again, it's a color that I just applied to my knitted sweater in the end. And I think this is absolutely sweet, and it's not too much work in crochet, it's very little. And here I have like a lot of children examples where I just have applied a little yoke to change the whole look of a plain cardigan or a plain pullover. One of the sweaters that they were a little bit more complex to make, and the crochet was a bigger part, is one of the ones that appear in my book, Memory Lane. I'm sorry, I get confused between my 2 books, because one is called Memory Lane and the other is called Making Memories. So this is Memory Lane for adults, was edited by Lane, and this one was a little bit more complex, because basically just the body is made with knitted, and the sleeves, they're all crochet. And when I finish the sweater, I made the decision to make this little neck that is crochet, so you can actually wear it or not wear it. But actually in the photo here that you see, you can see how cute that neck look. The work in this was a little bit more intense, took a little bit more time, but I actually like the piece. I think make a piece more interesting. It's like, in reality, it's not that difficult to do. The challenging here was the yarn that I was using. I use mohair, and if you are a very beginner crochet, I wouldn't advise you to use a lot of mohair, because mohair is very difficult to undo or unravel. So it's easy if you start to crochet with something thinner, like a blend linen crochet, then it's like in a fingering would do a beautiful result, and you will be able to undo your work if you think that you need to undo it. Before we go to the table to learn how to do these 4 stitches, I want to tell you what you're going to need. And it's very simple. You're going to need probably a pair of scissors or something to cut threads, and you're going to need crochet hoops and a thread. But this is very important. The quality of your crochet hoop is very important, because if your crochet hoop is not very good quality, it's going to be very difficult to slip the stitches on this hoop. And I have seen a lot of crochet hoops and they just frustrate the people who are learning. Please try to buy a crochet hoop that have very good reputation, like a Clover or the Tulip. Actually, one of my favorite is the Clover, because it's slip easily, and I'm not doing any commercial to anything here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just telling you through my experience, the instrument make a huge difference in how we approach something that we're learning. So if the instrument is not very good, you're going to be very frustrated. So invest a little bit more, get yourself a good needle. Hamanaka make good needles. Clover make good needles. The Tulip make good needles. I really like the Clover ones. And I don't know if it's in another brand there. You guys can give me your opinion. Maybe you can leave me here a comment saying with which brand is a very good brand to buy for crochet hoops. I always use the same, so that I just can tell you about my experience. And so I have a couple of needles here. It's another thing that I want to tell you before we go to the table, and that is how you hold your needle. How you hold your needle is the way you feel more comfortable to hold it. Mostly people hold it like if it's a pen or if it's a spoon. But I would say hold it the way you feel comfortable to hold it. It's not a fixed way to do these things. Just hold it the way it's going to be easy for you. I hold it like a pen. And don't forget one thing. Your 2 hands are important. You holding your needle in your right hand, but that doesn't mean that your left hand is not important. Your left hand is going to be holding the thread, and it's the one that is going to be giving the tension to your crochet. If you don't hold the tension well, crochet becomes really difficult. This will provide you with the amount of yarn that you need, and with the same hand, you will be holding a piece of your crochet to make it more steady for you to crochet faster. And I'm going to show you that in the table. Another thing that I don't want to forget, just in case in the table, is that the needle, when you pulling thread, your needle have to go down, facing down. You can have it this direction when you do your yarn over, but when you're going to go through the loop, your needle have to go with the head down. So these things are very important. Before we go to the table, I want us to have that clear. Now, without delay, let's go and learn these 4 stitches that they're going to help you to either be crocheting and you're knitting or start to crochet. We're going to do what would be the cast on for crochet, and it's a chain stitch, and we're going to start by just doing the same type of knot that we would do for knitting. A slip knot. So I have my slip knot here, and here the important thing is how I hold it. I'm going to roll the thread in this, and I'm going to keep these 2 fingers to hold this in tension. and this is going to give me the tension of the yarn, and this I'm going to hold it like a pen or like a spoon, whatever is easy for you, and I'm just going to do a yarn over and slip the yarn over the loop, over the little loop in here, and that I'm gonna keep doing that. But it's very important that you keep your hand here holding the tension. That helps you to hold the tension, and your finger give you the tension with the yarn here. As you get as many yarns you want from here with the tension of your finger and the pulling of this chain. And that would be your cast on for crochet. And if you want to stop, you can just make it like that, and that will keep it in hold for you. You can make a big loop here, then it doesn't fall apart. But if I want to finish, what I'm going to do is just cut it if I just want my chain and pull the thread over here, and that's your chain. But in our case right now, we don't gonna do that because we need the chain as a base for me to show you how to do single crochet. I'm doing the same thing, just because I need 20 stitches, I'm gonna cast on 20 stitches. Again, I hold my tension here, yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, through the loop, and you have to make your chain a little bit loose because you're going to put your first single crochets in there. I have the feeling that I made mine a bit tight, but and now I have the number of stitches that I want, and I'm just going to do one chain stitch to go up, and I'm gonna go in the first little loop here, one yarn over, and then I'm gonna do one another yarn over and go through the two loops. So again, I go in, out with the yarn over, in through the two loops, and there I have my single crochet up one, and let me show you how it looks. We're going to say which kind of understanding we have of this. In the English term, this is a single crochet. But if you were doing this in Spanish terms, this is a half crochet. And you're gonna go to the very last, and I make it really difficult for myself here because I make it really tight. But otherwise it doesn't look organized, I think. And now I'm going to go back, but to go back I have to turn my work a bit, that way, and do one chain. I guess you could have done the chain here. Do my chain, and then I'm going to start again in here. Okay, now I go to the end again, and I'm gonna give you an advice. If you don't feel really safe about what you're doing, once in a while count your stitches to make sure that you have the right number. Again, I'm gonna go up with a little chain, and I'm gonna go back here, and I'm just going to do this line with our single crochet, and then I'm going to show you how to do double crochet. So single crochet, you just go in, one yarn over, get another yarn over and get through the two loops, and keep holding your tension with your left hand. Your left hand here play a very important role. It's not like not doing anything. It's actually giving you the tension and feeding you the yarn. So yarn over, and in the same time this finger is holding your work, because if you just leave it like this, it's very difficult to get good at it. You need to hold it in here in a way that it pull a bit. So I'm going to do an extra rod to show you the difference of look if you go inside the back loop. So I'm gonna turn, and now I'm going to start to go in here in the back chain. So you have a chain here, and you're gonna go in this chain. That is just going to give a different look to your single crochet, creating like a bit of a line. Then it's very cute to decorate with it. It's very cute for to achieve some kind of to achieve a line, like stripes. So I'm going back, and now, because I want to show you how to do this little line, and then the line is just showing one side nicely, I'm going to go a bit different than I did in the another one. I'm gonna go in the top loop, in the one that is in front of me. So here. And when I'm done this line, I want to show you the effect that this gives you. Okay, here, make sure that you always go in the very last one, because if you don't, it's going to look very messy. And we don't want it to look messy, because the beauty of crochet for me is that all the stitches look equal, that it's like a symmetry there. So we start to look this little line in here, and in the next line I would do what I did in the first line. I would go in the back, then I create like a bit of striping. This is a bit extra. I mean, you don't have to be applying this, but I just want to show you how crochet can change depending how you pick up your stitch. But I have prepped like a mini chart to show you how you would do if it's need stitch. So I just want you to see here now, we're creating these little lines there. And two of the lines are gonna look closer, the other one gonna have a bit more distance, but it's create a very pretty pattern. But now I'm going to show you how to do double crochet. Again, you have to do your cast on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're just gonna do 14 this time. So I have my stitches here, and because this is a double crochet, I'm gonna do 2 chains. And I'm going to go in the third chain inside, but this time I'm gonna have a yarn over before I go in there. So I go in, and I pull out yarn over again, and now I'm gonna go with yarn over through the first 2 loops, and then with another yarn over to the another 2 loops, and I left a little batting there, but don't worry. So yarn over, I'm gonna go inside the chain, half of the chain here, and I'm gonna come out with 1 loop here. Now 1 yarn over again, 2 loops, 1 yarn over again, another 2 loops. So yarn over, going in, yarn over, come out, 2 loops, yarn over, 2 loops, 2 loops. The most challenging one is the first row you do. But what I want to stress in here is that if you look at these things, they look like the same way that your knitting look. So when you going to do things in your knitting, you can perfectly go inside here, or you can go through 2 of them depending on what you want to do. So this is my last here because this knot is just a little knot. So 1, 2, and I turn my work, and I'm gonna go in here, yarn over, and I'm taking the whole thing. I'm taking the 2 loops in this case. Look, yarn over, and I go through 2 of them. Yarn over, and I go through 2 of them. But exists the possibility that I just go through 1 of them and the look would be different if I just go through 1 of them here. But in this case, we're going through 2 of them. So yarn over, get in, come out, yarn over, in, and you keep doing this until you get to the end, and make sure that you do the last one. That's the most important part. And turn around, 1, 2, 3, 2, I'm sorry. And here is the thing, I went all the way to the chain, but if I made the decision to do like I did with the single crochet, go yarn over and go just over 1 of the loops, the look is going to be different. It's gonna keep this little line there, like we did with the single crochet. So just I'm gonna do few, then you can see the difference. And I just want to show you how that creates this little line. Now I want to show you one of the most important stitches that you can learn if you're gonna use it for knitting, and it's a slip stitch. It's very important, and I choose this direction because it's clear to see it in here. And what you're going to do a slip stitch is like you're just gonna go in, and we don't going to be using, I'm just gonna connect this here, and I'm just gonna go in the loop here and get yarn over through 2 of them. So, and this is a very good stitch to actually fix a lot of your knitting. If your knitting is too loose, you can do a little line of this, and this can help you to make it a bit tighter. So you just go in, it's very simple, yarn over and go through 2 of the loops. So basically this becomes your second loop. So you just go in, yarn over, and get in and out. So yarn over, get in and out, yarn over, get in and out, and it's create this line. Then it's just one little extra line there, but it is really nice and organized. I absolutely love a slip stitch to fix problems and before casting on. In my knitting, sometimes I use a slip stitch and sometimes I use single crochet, but I find slip stitch super handy and super beautiful. I mean, it's almost like it was your knitting in this direction. Thanks for having stayed to the end, and don't miss the next episode because we're going to be doing this beautiful scarf, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things that knitters need to know about crochet. Don't forget to subscribe, and please don't forget to leave me a comment and ask me questions. The questions are really important because they keep me going, and I'm so thankful to your comments that make me want to do this even more.